All right, welcome back, ladies and gents. Today we're going to cover the next portion of nutrition, and this one's going to be pretty basic and pretty simple, but yet it can be pretty powerful. All too many times, everything is over complicated, and people get super confused, and then paralysis by analysis happens, or there's just bad information out there. So what we want to look at is making sure that we're making small changes that provide big results. Now, when I say that, that means you're probably not going to lose 5 pounds in the first week. We're talking about big results that are more tangible, less visible. So meaning you're going to get more out of it. It's more education based. It's not weight loss based, and it's going to happen and take more time. It's going to take more time over time. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to just be something that's instant fix. It does take work, but again, it's pretty simple. So if you haven't downloaded the Better Habits app, please do that by now. It's a great app to use, and if you need help, please come see me. I'll take care of that for you. This way we can start establishing better habits, and that's a great way of tracking it. It's as simple as creating your own habits, creating a goal to reach those habits, and then doing that daily until you can do that what we would say proficiently or good enough, whether it's 5 days out of 7, 4 out of 7, 6 out of 7, whatever it is, okay? And then going back and reviewing it at the end of the week. So that's going to make things move forward for you. Again, we're going to talk about moving the needle, and these are a couple different ways to do it. So we want to look at building better habits. And that's going to start with understanding that food is fuel for the body. Way too many times you're told to eat less. It's out there everywhere. Calories, eat less, meal replacement shakes, eat 1,200 calories. If you haven't heard that by now, you will at some point in your journey. That's just not okay. Yes, it will get your scale weight to move, but that's not what we're looking for. It's also not teaching quality of your food choices, which in turn determines whether your body loses weight or whether it loses fat. And of course, you guys want to lose fat, not muscle, not tissue, not water. Primarily fats, okay? So, looking at food as fuel, not as something to remove or as punishment or as this unhealthy relationship. Food can be your friend, you just have to know how to use it. So when I say food as fuel is you need enough protein to sustain the lean muscle mass that you have, and then you need even more protein to build the lean muscle mass. So ladies, you're talking about tone and definition. That doesn't happen by happenstance. It happens by removing the body fat in your body, but then you want to maintain the muscle that you have at that point, and so that means eating enough protein. Now at some point you're going to go, I need to build some muscle. We need to put some in to fill back in those empty areas where the fat used to be, and that's where toning comes into play. That's called changing the shape of your body, changing your body composition. So you'll need to eat more protein. That's just hands down rule number one. And what happens is most people aren't eating good anyways when they come into or start a program, and then they're instructed to eat less. So you are eating like crap, and then you're told eat less. Now what's going on is your body is already malnourished, it doesn't have what it needs, and then you're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna eat less, and I'm gonna work out more. This is what we call when we get to the point of diminishing returns, where your body will actually be fighting itself because now you're not providing it with anything, you're stressing it out way too much in exercise, and now your body's going, oh shit, I'm gonna dump the muscle that I have and I'm gonna hold on to the fat that I have, because fat stores are more calorically dense. It's also because you're a female, your body is genetically made that way because you guys are made to carry babies for 9 months. And so it has a lot to do with biological markers and things like that as well. So that's why we talk about removing unhealthy fat, keeping the fat that we do have that's healthy, and maintaining the muscle mass. So we have to look at food as fuel, getting enough protein in to sustain and build lean muscle mass, getting enough healthy fat in, so avocados, oils, nuts, things like that, eggs, butter, cheese, just the right amount though, not too much, is healthy for vitamin A, D, E, and K, absorption in the body, which are all important vitamins for the hormones and the brain and everything else like that. So if you're not eating enough healthy fat, you will feel hungry, you will feel tired, you won't have any brain energy, things like that. Your body will not also pick up the vitamins that it needs to function. So eating enough healthy fat is imperative. It'll also help you feel full, right? Feel fuller longer. And then you also have, of course, your carbohydrates. There's good and bad choices with that as well. Carbohydrates are good because they do provide you energy for your workouts and for recovery from your workouts. However, obviously choosing the wrong carbs and eating too many of them leads to increased insulin levels, spikes in insulin, which leads to craving more and things like that. So there's a lot of deep biological processes that go on there. I'm not going to bore you with it, but again, carbs are not the devil. You need them. Your body needs them. Some people more than others, but they are also very beneficial for restocking your muscle fuel, your glycogen stores, repairing and recovering from workouts, and of course giving you instant energy for the most part. So carbs are not the devil. Don't remove them out. They're just as beneficial as the other two macronutrients, proteins and fats. So food is fuel, all right? So don't look at it as the enemy. Don't look at it as something that's negative. Otherwise, you're going to have this bad relationship with food. And if you have that, you're never going to be successful, okay? So that's kind of just your quick talk on food as fuel and creating better habits and better relationships with food, okay? Now, what we also want to look at is one little thing that you can do. It's called subtract one, add one. To make this really simple is we want to subtract one bad food and add something good or something that's similar to that and move away from this and move towards something. If we just say, hey, I'm just going to remove this, all we're doing is creating a bad relationship with that food or item or whatever it is, and you're saying, I can't have this. So to put that even in a better perspective, let's talk about removing processed food and moving towards eating more protein. So this is going to nourish your body, create better habits. It's going to boost your metabolism. It's going to help you with muscle. It's going to provide you a lot more energy. So now you're moving away from something that isn't creating any health, isn't creating anything for you that's good, and then you're moving towards something that is good, okay? Or another example would be moving away from drinking an entire pot of coffee and drinking more water. So that's two small examples, and you may not always have to subtract one. Sometimes you may just need to add something, but more times than not, you need to be subtracting one thing and then adding one thing. That's kind of the opposite end of it. So moving away and moving towards, okay? So your goal is to come up with one or two things, and I want you to let me know what those are, and that might be part of your test as well. You can either just text me or email me. I want to know what you're subtracting this week and what you're adding in replacement, and let's not go too crazy and try and do 5 things at one time. Again, simple, small, actionable steps that we can attain and then set more later, okay? So that's kind of your basic nutrition. But again, making these small changes over a longer period of time is going to help you be a little bit more successful and not have these ebbs and flows or these rebounds and yo-yos, or again, creating bad relationships with food. It's about creating healthy relationships with food. Therefore, you can be more realistic, you can enjoy the things that you're doing and still make progress at the same time, okay? So quick review, download the Better Habits app if you haven't. Start using that. My current habit that I'm working on is drinking 90 ounces of water per day. Again, it's got a little reminder at 5 a.m. So when I wake up, it's there on my phone. It says drink 90 ounces of water. Of course, not on the spot, but then what that does is that gets me in the mindset of not starting out drinking coffee right away. And if I don't do that, if I don't start drinking coffee right away, I'm more successful and more apt to hit my 90 ounces, because once I start drinking coffee, I keep drinking it, and I keep drinking it, and I keep drinking it. So not good for the nervous system, not good for the stomach. It's just not healthy overall. So of course, drinking more water is in many different ways, especially for fat loss. So anyways, that's the next part of that. Quick review again, food is fuel. Carbs are not the devil, no matter what you hear. Yes, people lose weight by removing carbs, but all they're doing is removing an entire food group. Of course, you're gonna lose weight. And then you're gonna lose a lot of water weight as well when you remove carbs. So it doesn't matter if you remove carbs, fats, or proteins, you're gonna lose weight. You're subtracting something, plain and simple. So again, let's subtract something that is not quality based and let's add something quality based. So that's your next step. Okay, 2 or 3 things. Maybe even one's good enough for now. It doesn't really matter. And then your goal is to send that out to me or answer those in the test. And that's pretty much it. So your next video is going to be on the extra services that we do provide for nutrition. So that way we can continue to build on everything from month to month and year to year. So I'll go over that in the next video. So stay tuned for the next video on nutrition. All right, let's make it a great week and keep making progress. See you soon.